What's going on, guys? Welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be going through one of potentially the greatest albums of all time. As you may see from particularly this shirt, I am a massive Pink Floyd fan, particularly of what we're talking about today, The Wall. The Wall released on the 30th of November 1979, acting as the 11th studio album by Pink Floyd. As a concept album, The Wall, much like Pink Floyd's works, tells a deep political and social story centering around a fictional musician by the name of Pink, who also appears on other Floyd albums such as Wish You Were Here. Roger Waters, Pink Floyd's bassist and singer, modelled the character of Pink upon a conglomeration of both himself and the band's former frontman Syd Barrett. To convey the themes and ideas of isolation and alienation that form the basis of the album, Waters drew upon his own experiences as a young boy growing up in London during the Second World War. Like the protagonist, Pink, Waters lost his father during the war, which affected him greatly, and this comes across in Pink's character. We're told of the torments that Pink has faced at the hands of sadistic, cruel and bullying schoolteachers. Incidentally reminding me of a film called Kes, based on the book A Kestrel for a Knave, set in a 60s Yorkshire pit town. Good read, good film, check it out. And also his mollycoddling, overprotective mother, who would cause him to build and hide behind the metaphorical eponymous wall that isolates him from the rest of the world. Rather than telling this story in a traditional manner, Waters creates very symbolic imagery through use of exquisite lyrical craftsmanship, a unique insight into sound design and execution, and the unsettling caricatures and illustrations of Gerald Scarfe. In the 1982 film of The Wall, the unconventional and unsettling nature of the album is expressed through symbolic imagery and an emphasis on visuals and music, seen with the use of Scarfe's animation. The bombing of London during the Blitz is shown as a cartoon, a medium usually connected with humour and enjoyment. Scarfe's twisted and metaphorical imagery turns this idea on its head, presenting some genuinely beautiful and visually astonishing animation in songs like Empty Spaces that's dark and violent as hell, with grotesque and unnerving sights of people living like wolves in the dark, their snouts gas masks, and German bombers, the Black Nazi Eagle, tearing the landscape apart, showering the country in blood, on tracks such as the poignant Goodbye Blue Sky. The Wall requires you to actively try and piece it together, to understand it. It is not an album to just sit down and listen to passively without thinking. The music and the meanings behind it captivate you, enthralling you in the unfolding plot and spectacular music. One of the dominant themes that The Wall portrays is the power of music, and the influence that it can have on people. The poignant, powerful guitar of David Gilmour, mixed with the backing and sound effects of children crying, gunfire, rebellion, the London riots, in songs like Another Brick in the Wall, The Happiest Days of Our Lives, In the Flesh and Goodbye Blue Sky, demonstrates the chaotic, unstoppable nature of war, juxtaposed to songs like Bring the Boys Back Home and The Trial, that show unity of spirit, order, the opposite of this chaos. These two contradictory aspects of music, chaos and order, other than sounding like the plot of The Dark Knight, reflect the conflicted state of Pink's mind. Pink himself is a contradiction, a rebellious rock star, but also an authority figure around which he can build an almost cult-like fascist following, all brought together by his warped ideals and his music. He turns himself into a religious idol who exercises complete control over his fans. The theme of order and chaos is demonstrated in one of The Wall's most famous songs.
We don't need no education.
Another Brick in the Wall Part 2, we hear of the institutionalisation of education as a giant machine, reminiscent of how the music industry is represented in their 1975 song Welcome to the Machine, that is of course ruled over by the teacher, a vicious authority figure and a hyperbolic caricature of Waters' own school days. The motif of hammers is very important here throughout the album. The now culturally iconic marching hammers symbol that Pink Floyd used for the album is a metaphorical demonstration of the creation of ideal members of society, hammering them into shape as working parts of the greater machine. They are taken in and metaphorically minced, as seen in the artwork by Gerald Scarfe. The kids are fed into this mincer, destroying the child's individuality as they all come out as identical mulch. But even as the students proceed to overthrow the tyranny of this machine, the band doesn't romanticise the ensuing chaos. The children may be singing the lyrics of revolution, but they are all singing in unison, as one body. There are no individuals. As Pink Floyd became more and more popular during the 70s, their frontman Syd Barrett began to lose touch with reality through his unstoppable drug addiction. Shortly before he left the band, he supposedly appeared at a 1975 recording session, having radically changed his appearance. He shaved his head, shaved off his eyebrows and all of his other body hair, gained weight. This being referenced again in the film, where the fictional character of Pink, played by the Boomtown Rats' Bob Geldof, transformed from a lowly musician into a fascist cult leader using music to control his fans, echoing the horrors of what Syd Barrett went through. Rock music, like Pink Floyd's, has always been a source for social rebellion and liberation, and even a vehicle for the counterculture spirit of the 1960s. But frontman Roger Waters always felt that his fame as a rock star was beginning to turn him into the same type of authority figure he despised as a child. So again, here we see the idea of order and chaos. Here, rock music can be a force for liberation, but the celebrities who play the music can often become almost religious idols. Upon its initial release, The Wall was a moderate critical and commercial success, but over the last 40 years, The Wall has maintained a loyal following, being heralded a masterpiece, with so much fantastic music and excellent writing, speaking to everyone of every culture unanimously, and is still very much a relevant part of our global politics and society today.
Did you see the frightened ones?